Bone is one of the most incredible living tissues in the human body. It's not dead, it's not static, and it's not something that stays the same throughout your life. In fact, bone is constantly changing, reshaping, and adapting to how you use your body every single day. Yet when most people think about exercise, bones are almost never part of the conversation. We think about muscles getting bigger, fat getting burned, or the heart getting stronger. But beneath all of that, something even more fascinating is happening. Your bones are listening to every movement you make. One of the most powerful lessons we ever learned about bone came from space exploration. When astronauts first returned from extended missions in zero-gravity environments, doctors noticed something alarming. Despite being in peak physical condition before launch, many astronauts had lost up to 20% of their bone density. This discovery shocked researchers, but it also revealed a fundamental truth about how bone works. Bone follows a simple rule. If you don't use it, you lose it. Without gravity and mechanical stress, bone weakens. But when stress is applied correctly, bone doesn't just survive, it adapts and becomes stronger. This adaptability exists because bone is constantly being remodeled. Old bone tissue is broken down, and new bone tissue is built in its place. This process happens throughout your entire life. The structure of bone is not random either. On the outside, bones are made of dense, compact bone that provides strength and protection. On the inside, bones contain spongy bone, which looks fragile at first glance, but is actually a masterpiece of biological engineering. Spongy bone is made of tiny beam-like structures called trabeculae. These trabeculae are arranged along the exact lines of stress that the bone experiences daily. Just like the steel beams inside a skyscraper, they are positioned where support is needed most. If stress patterns change, the trabeculae reorganize themselves. This means your bones literally redesign their internal architecture based on how you move, lift, and load your body. For bones to grow stronger, they need stress, but not just any kind of stress. Bones respond best to two types of forces: compressive forces and tensile forces. Compressive forces occur when bones are pushed together, such as during walking, running, jumping, or landing. Tensile forces occur when muscles pull on bones, such as during resistance training, pull-ups, squats, or curls. Bone is uniquely built to handle both of these forces because it is made of two main materials. The first is an inorganic mineral called hydroxyapatite, made primarily from calcium and phosphate. This gives bone its hardness and allows it to resist compression. The second is collagen, a strong, flexible protein that resists pulling forces. Together, these materials create a structure that is both rigid and flexible, incredibly strong, yet able to absorb force without breaking. This is why exercise is so effective for bone health. When you lift weights, your muscles pull on your bones, creating tensile stress. At the same time, the weight itself creates compressive stress. Even simple movements like running create bending forces within bones, placing one side under compression and the other under tension. Your bones respond by reinforcing themselves exactly where the stress occurs. The good news is that you don't need extreme or complicated exercises to stimulate bone growth. Most functional movements already do the job. Resistance training performed at a moderate to high intensity, typically using a weight you can lift 6 to 12 times, provides an excellent stimulus for increasing and maintaining bone density. High-impact activities like running and jumping also create powerful signals for bone adaptation, especially in the lower body. Importantly, bone health is not about doing one perfect exercise, it's about consistency. Bone responds slowly but powerfully to repeated stress over time. When exercise is consistent, bone-building cells called osteoblasts become more active. These cells lay down new collagen and mineral matrix, increasing bone density. At the same time, bone-breaking cells called osteoclasts slow down, shifting the balance towards stronger bones. When exercise is removed, the opposite happens. Osteoclasts become more active, breaking down bone faster than it can be rebuilt. This is exactly what happens during prolonged inactivity, bed rest, or space travel. It's also why bone density tends to decrease with age, especially when physical activity levels drop. Understanding this balance explains why strength training, weight-bearing exercise, and full-body movement are critical at every stage of life. Strong bones support strong muscles, protect joints, and reduce the risk of fractures later in life. Exercise doesn't just make you look stronger, it literally rebuilds your skeleton from the inside out. Bone is not passive, it is intelligent, adaptive, and responsive. Every step you take, every weight you lift, and every muscle you contract sends a message to your bones. And when that message is repeated consistently, your bones answer by becoming stronger, denser, and better engineered to handle the demands of life.